Good morning, Leon and Braylon and Gage and Micaiah. How are y'all today? It's our last day of the week for school, so yay! And then we get a break this weekend, so we are making it through this crazy time of school. So today we're going to look at writing our narrative. And so if you have not unstapled your sheets, I want you to unstaple them because you're going to need to spread them out and you're going to need to look at them. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this page because it's got our introductory sentence. We need to let people know what's going on with this piece of writing. So I'm going to write my introductory sentence, which is, one time I went to the mountains. I've got my pencil, I've got my paper, I'm going to clip it onto my board. You can just put yours on your table or you can clip it onto a board, however you feel comfortable. One time, so we have to trace one time. Micaiah, I want you to be careful not to run your words together. You did pretty good on all of your things that I checked, but the last one that I checked, it was so close together, it was almost impossible for me to read it. And I noticed that sometimes you are not spelling words that you can sound out. Let's take a minute and let's look at one. Big. So we have to decide, is that a short vowel or a long vowel? I, I, I. A, I, those are short vowels. And then you have A, E, I, O, U. And those are long vowels. So if I were writing big, B-ig, has it got a silent E on it? It's just got one vowel, because when there's one vowel in a word, it usually says it's short sound. Eyes on me, 1, 2, 3. You better be looking and listening and not fiddling and looking off at some other toy. Big, B-I-G. But what if I were going to write take? Take. Well, I hear a T, I hear a A, and I hear a K. All right, so that's what I got. Is that take? When there's one vowel in a word, it usually says it's short sound. So you haven't got it yet. What will it take to make that a long vowel? What's something we can do? E on the end. What are some other vowel teams that we learned? A-I, E-A, E-E, O-A, and those are just the most common ones. And if you're not sure which long vowel team it is, ask Mom. Say, Mom, is this an E-A or E-E? Or is it a silent E on the end? Those kind of questions are okay because it shows that you know what you're doing, you're just not sure which one it has. So that's what I want you to watch out for today. If it's a short vowel, it's only going to have one vowel. If it's a long vowel, it's going to have two. Now that's just for words that have one part. When you start getting into bigger words, you have to start using some of our other rules, like it'll have two consonants to make the vowel short, one consonant to make the vowel long. And unfortunately, that works most of the time. There are some words that just don't follow any rules. So if you have a word that doesn't follow any rules, sound it out the best you can, or ask Mama to write it down. I got my coffee. So, one time I went to, now I want you to look at this. Do you see that I have space in between each word? I can read this. One time I went to, as opposed to it looking like, I can't find a blank piece of paper. Let me find a blank piece of paper. You can still be writing your essay. I just want to give you some examples. All right, stop for a minute and look. That is much harder to read than this. This has no spacing. it's hard to tell where the words stop and start. And I know what it's saying, so it's a little bit easier, but when I start reading somebody else's writing and I don't know what it's supposed to be saying, I'm just like puzzled. I'm not really sure. So put a space in between each word. All right, keep writing. One time I went to the... Don't write gigantic either. I know Gage and Braylon tend to write really big, so you can't write gigantic. All right, so I've got my first sentence down. Now I'm going to take my other sheet that's got my 3 details, because I need an introductory, I need 3 details, and I need a closing sentence. Okay, so that's what we're working on right now. An introductory sentence, 3 details, and a closing sentence. The mountains were huge and beautiful. So you write yours, and I'm going to be writing mine. How's it going? A little quiet. All right, you can stop and look. The mountains were huge and beautiful. And if you'll notice, I went outside of my line a little bit here. It's a little messy, but I know this is not going to be enough space for me to write everything on. So I'm trying to make use of all the space that I have. What goes at the end of each sentence? A period. It doesn't need to be a huge dot or just a little dot. I need to be able to see it. It's got to be big enough for me to see. It does not need to be huge. What's at the beginning of each sentence? Capital letter, capital letter. We All right, I've got my next sentence done. I'm definitely going to run out of room, but that is fine because I included some good details. We took a 10-mile hike up the mountain. Do you have your first detail on there? Okay, I'm on detail number 3. And I'm at the bottom of my paper. So what am I going to do? That's right. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to finish on the back. Now the back does not have lines, so you're going to have to be extra careful not to just get in a big huge mess. Alright, I want to show you something else. Stop what you're doing, and I want you to look. This is something mainly for Leon, but if the rest of you can start to learn it now. Ooh, that is hard to see. Look at that mark at the end. Do you know what that's called? This mark is called an exclamation point. It's a long stick in a period. Do you know what it means? It means you read the sentence a little bit louder and with excitement. On the way down, I was so tired. Because when people are reading, they don't know exactly what you were feeling at the time, so you can use your punctuation marks to help them. A period is just a normal telling sentence, but if you put that exclamation point, whew, it's a little bit more exciting and read a little bit with a little bit more feeling, so that helps your reader. All right, on the next one, I put another exclamation point. My body felt like a limp noodle. Now, the thing about exclamation points is you can only use them ever so often, because if you use every sentence reading with so much feeling and the next sentence with so much feeling, the reader's tired. So you just use it for the sentences that you want the most feeling in, okay? And so I'm not going to use it again for a while. All right, I'm done. Can you pause just a minute? All right, Miss Amy's going to read hers to you because I want you to see how it sounds once it's all put together. One time I went to the mountains. The mountains were huge and beautiful. We took a 10-mile hike up the mountain. We saw a breathtaking lake. After a long time, we reached the top. On the way down, I was so tired. My body felt like a limp noodle. It was an exhausting day, but so much fun. All right, so I gave you what I went to do. I told you some details about my trip, and then I'll let you know it was over. So it's a really good narrative. So I want you to finish your narratives. I want you to practice it several times first, because you don't need to have any pauses in it when you're reading, and I know sometimes you're not really sure of the words. So get all those little bumps out, and then get Mama to videotape you and send it to me. And that will be your presentation. And that will be part of how I know that you did a great job. Now, last week, only Braylon and Gage sent me a recording, and I really enjoyed it. So if everybody can send me a recording this week, that would be great. All right. So you have fun writing your personal narrative. I cannot wait to hear it and all the details and see what you did and how you felt. And I will be back for first grade phonics in just a minute.